in Hicksville most of my life. I have a car, 2 kids, and a wife. I'll probably be here for the rest of my life. I'm living on the island. When summer comes and winter falls, the island ladies go to shopping malls. Take daddy's credit card, charge it all. They're living on an island. Oh, we're living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. I'm just basking in the sun.
Hey, Andy, give me a vodka. Is that your Camaro? It's gorgeous.
You know, I went to high school with Billy Joel.
Wow.
I go to Hamptons on Friday night. I party hard till sunshine bright. Then I'm sitting in traffic on Sunday night. I'm living on an island. Yeah, living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. I'm not hurting anyone. Ah, let's live.
Hey there, Islanders. If you're going out to the beach, you better get an early start. Traffic is miserable.
Well, I'm coming of age in Old Bethpage, trying to get down in Levittown, dancing in the dark and...
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
How
as
you
I'm
doing?
sharing
Welcome to
it.
the Gagootz show. We're sharing it.
Well, I don't know who's going to see us and not going to see us, but we're not on Facebook tonight. So it's with no point in saying that because we're not on Facebook, but we're on YouTube. So everybody just go to YouTube and then type in Strong Island, .com, and then just go to the Gagootz show. And for season 2, episode 19. And that's about it. I'm putting it on Facebook now, however. So if you go to my page or you go to Tom Chaudell's page, which I'm posting to him right now as well, you will get that. And I'm sorry that we're doing that on the show live, but there's a glitch with Facebook. It happens. And, we don't have any choice. But
All right. So
hello, how
and
is
welcome
everybody?
to the Gagootz show.
Welcome to the Gagootz show. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks.
In a month.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
really
month.
that long?
Yeah. Because
I
we're
haven't been here in a month.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Twice. Yeah.
So I haven't been here because
You went away.
I went away. I went away because my girlfriend gets these. Hi, Linda. My girlfriend gets these free rooms at either Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun. But we went to see a concert. We went to see
Rod Stewart.
Thank
She's
God
looking
he's
at me
here.
like I wasn't there.
Thank God he's here. 'Cause, when you're 72, your brain is like, So we saw Rod Stewart. He was phenomenal. The man's 79 years old. He was absolutely phenomenal. He sang every single song we wanted him to sing. Danced around that stage like he was in his 20s. Just absolutely unbelievable.
He's athletic. He's an athlete too.
He is just an incredible.
Rod Stewart could have been a soccer player. He was that good.
Could be anything he wants to be.
And still very handsome.
Yes. I mean, we got pretty close to him. So yeah. I mean, we were trying our best to get backstage, but that didn't work. But we did try. But anyway, and then we went over to Foxwoods. We stayed there for a couple of days because we got free rooms over there. And,
Very nice, yes.
And then I convinced Linda to get a scooter because between her knees and my back, we needed to scoot around. And we got in trouble.
And you, the audience, would want to know this.
You would want to know this. We got in trouble and with the scooters because I decided they go 40 miles an hour. And we got in the Tanger outlet. Nobody was there. And it was we raced. And then we got yelled at by the police that were there.
Real police, or were they like rent-a-cops?
No, they were real police.
Oh.
We got in trouble. In the elevators, don't ask. All right. Someday I'll tell you the story. Go on my Facebook page. I'll lay it out for you.
Okay.
And you went to Florida.
And I went to Florida right after, pretty much right after the last show that we did, where our son Ryan was a co-host, and Mezzy D and Ryan were the co-hosts.
Yeah.
And then I went to Florida, and I just got back yesterday.
So he's tired.
I'm a little tired, but I'm ready for the show. I'm ready. And tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is his birthday.
Yay.
I know.
That's why I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse
Wife
shirt.
got no cake, not even a cupcake, nothing.
Yeah, not a cupcake or nothing.
No.
That's all right. No, that's all right. Tomorrow, right after work, I'm gonna go buy myself some hash
There you go.
because it's legal now.
All right.
So I tried to. I was going to Florida and I wanted to drive. I wanted to do a road trip, but they wouldn't let me. Her and Ryan wouldn't let me drive. So because I
He
wanted
gets
to.
lost on Long Island. He's been here 69 years. He's going to take a road trip to Florida. I don't think
I
so.
did that once. I drove to Florida when I was 30.
You were 30.
39 years ago. Okay. So anyway, so I flew and then I was thinking of ways because I thought, it's legal almost everywhere. So I was thinking, and
Not in Florida.
no medical marijuana is legal in Florida.
Right, but not
Yes,
regular.
Not
marijuana.
regular, not recreational yet. They're working on it. So I wanted to smuggle some hash because hash is my new kick now. But then Ryan's like, and I thought, I said, I'll just tape it to my leg and then nobody's going to bother me. Anyway, they made me take my belt off. They made me.
We
They-
told you.
They checked, you have metal in my cross. They checked my cross. They checked everything. So I was like, I'm glad. But then I stayed with my uncle and my cousins I was there for 10 days. And one day, we might not be able to tell that story, but one day I drove to visit a friend of mine who was a retired nurse. I saw her and her husband, Margaret and Carl, wonderful people. And Margaret has medical marijuana.
He was
So
happy camper.
I was very happy. And then
happy camper.
I just took the half of a joint. We smoked 2 joints. I took a half with me to celebrate and that's all I needed. And then I came home yesterday and
I didn't pick
I
you up
didn't.
at the airport because I threw my back out.
she threw her back out. But I ate very well and everything. I don't want you to think it was all
Italians.
drugs.
He was with an Italian
All drugs.
family the whole time. There's no problem there with food.
Yeah, no. We had a great time with my cousins Mario, my Uncle Charlie. I spent the most time with them. And then my cousin Paul and his wife Angie and his 2 children. And Angie we had the whole family was there, including her parents, and a wonderful send-off of a great Italian dinner.
There you go. There
Of
you have it.
pasta, meatballs, sausage. And of course, Italians, we eat the salad last. Okay.
When I came
We
into this
forgot-
family, it was very weird for me.
We forgot that there was a salad until we
By
were
the way, there's a salad.
when there were the last meatball. Somebody grabbed the last meatball and they said, "Wow, there's a big bowl of salad untouched." And then we devoured the salad.
But anyway,
Yes,
tonight,
we have a
which I have
wonderful
heavily
guest.
advertised, is a wonderful man. His name is Tom Shordell, and I have advertised him for the last, I don't even know, maybe 2-3 months. He is a award-winning chef. He has a radio show, which I didn't know until just recently, so now I'm going to have to listen to this. And he has restaurants.
He's more than a chef.
He's more than a
actually
chef. He plays
a
the
restaurant.
guitar.
No, but he's a restauranteur, right?
He's
A restaurateur.
Whoops, and,
Oh yeah,
and thank God I have the other one.
we'll be buying this book.
They're ours. Anyway,
It's great. Yeah, this one's Playing with Fire, Wining and Dining on the Gold Coast.
which I'll
Awesome.
tell you about because
Yes.
it's not what you think it is. Because I asked.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, he's going to be on. We're going to go to a quick commercial, or do we have some pictures of Tom?
No, we don't.
We don't. We don't
No.
have anything.
We
No, that's his. That means our time's up because I know how to time this. He has to put a timer on it.
you didn't know what
Yeah,
time
I
it was.
was watching my Mickey Mouse.
Oh, she's got a Mickey Mouse watch. I'm wearing my
Um,
Mickey. Well, we'll show a commercial or something. Bobby could throw
Oh,
something
Bobby,
up.
throw something on.
And later
Put
on,
the air conditioner.
later on, we have later on we have a video at the end of the show, a video for our Gagootz show video contest, which
Oh,
we will
that's
talk more
yeah.
about.
We have the.
And we have
contest.
a fun video. We have a really good one we're going to show
Oh,
later.
boy. I don't know about this. Go ahead, roll 'em, Bobby.
That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo!
And the camera's out.
There you go. Hey, everybody. And this is Tommy Shardell. And I know there's a lot of people, hopefully, that are watching the show tonight because we're not on Facebook Live. But hi, Tom.
Hey, Nance.
Hey, Tom.
So good to have you on the show.
It's great to be. I haven't seen you in 50 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
Actually, it was like 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, at one time.
That one time.
Right.
And
That's
that's
really
when
cool.
I met you, too.
Yeah, when we went to his restaurant,
Jewel.
you know, which he
Right.
sold just before.
Just before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was,
wow.
Fortuitous. I, obviously had no idea the pandemic was coming, but, it kind of sort of changed the restaurant business forever. It's, I don't think it's still recovered.
In what way?
Well, in a lot of ways. I mean, it's harder to find help now for some reason. Prices went crazy. Deliveries were difficult. And I think everybody's still feeling the reverberating effects of it because, I see diners, which were integral to Long Island. Diners in Long Island are almost synonymous, right?
Oh,
Growing up,
yeah.
Everybody had a diner in their town. They go to 2 in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, right.
3, 4 in the morning. But, they can't sustain it anymore. And I see them closing all over the place, You see a lot of restaurants now close Monday and Tuesday, and that's because of mandatory overtime and all the government gets involved in everybody's stuff, and then it all goes to shit after that, So it's for me. I'm watching, what I hope aren't the death throes of the restaurant business in general. The high end places will always be busy because
Right.
people that money aren't, Mrs. Millionaire is not going to get cooking lessons, so they go out. and then the lower places are always going to be busy because you have people, don't want to spend a lot of money and you go to McDonald's or whatever. It's those mid places that everybody's, kind of avoiding because money's tight. The economy is terrible regardless of what they tell you on TV. It's just not good.
No, we saw
Yeah.
a lot of that in our town in Islip. A lot of the restaurants closed down.
Yeah.
And like you said, the diners, there's diners closing like monthly.
It's crazy.
I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Yeah.
diners are always open 24 hours, right? Then all of a sudden they're starting to close at midnight. Then it's 11. Now they're open at 8 instead of, they just kept shrinking and shrinking. And now you see them leaving. I have a friend who owns 3 diners, a catering place, and a high-end restaurant. And he told me that he was making more money 20 years ago with one diner than he's making now.
Wow.
And I said, because the one diner he owned was in Williston Park,
Mhm.
I said, the reason you were making so much money is we were all cutting out of school going to breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's where we
Oh,
used
yeah.
to go,
Yeah.
Instead of
exactly.
first period. My first period was the Williston Park Diner.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nobody. We weren't in school much at all,
No,
actually.
I couldn't get there quite as often as they wanted me to.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
And now do you have a restaurant right now? Or
I
you
have
some-
2. I still have 2, yeah. I have one called the Mono, which is like a country Tuscan style restaurant, wood burning pizza oven, and we do food like you'd find in Italy, not in Little Italy. I don't do like rollatinis and things like that. And then I have Allure, which is on the water in Southall.
My
Yes.
favorite place.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I mean it's the view. I mean, you can. It didn't matter what you serve there as long as the view's.
The view in that restaurant is
Yeah, right
spectacular.
on,
I mean, I've
right.
been there. You've never been there when I was there. It just
Yeah,
it's
I
like
try and avoid it.
it's like, and I was like, I know the owner. Like they don't care, Nancy, that you own the owner. You're gonna wait. You don't have a reservation. Get over there.
That's
It
funny.
doesn't matter who you know.
You know why though? And I was a bartender in a restaurant. Everybody comes in and they know the owner.
Oh, I got a
Or they-
story about that.
Okay, let's see
Okay.
that story.
Well, reference in my books, Nelson DeMille, who just recently passed away, was a very good friend of mine and great writer, fabulous patriot, just nicest guy with a wicked sense of humor, self-deprecating. He was just the best. I called him up when I was thinking about writing a book. I was thinking about doing this book on Long Island food. And Newsday had done something like that about 20 years ago. And I wanted to update it, but nobody in Newsday was interested because they don't make any money with books, So anyway, so I called him up and I said, listen, I want to come over and talk to you about something. He goes, please don't tell me you're going to write a book. I said, no, I'm thinking about writing a book. He says, I'm going to give you some advice. take 2 aspirins, lay in a dark room, and wait for the feeling to pass. It's the best advice you can get right in the book. So I went over there, and I was telling him, I say, I get this idea. I'm going to have to go out on food and all restaurants and all my menus. And he goes, Tom, do you really think the world needs another crab cake recipe? You got a strong point there. So he goes, you've been writing these articles about crazy customer behavior for this magazine. Why don't you go along those lines? Because that's pretty funny stuff, So I said, all right. And that's how the first book started, Playing with Fire, which was published in 2009, is basically my 100 worst customers ever.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's a comedy.
Yeah, that's a fun,
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 55 years now. I started in 1968. I lied my way into a dishwasher's job because I had to get money. I blew up my amplifier trying to play like Jimi Hendrix, and it didn't work out all that well. Anyway, so I published it, and then the second one, called The Second Helping, was written because there's no shortage of talent out there when it comes to ridiculous behavior. So I have another
that's a good way to put it.
But the one I was going to talk about the owner, I had a restaurant in Montauk for about 8 or 9 years called Downtown Grill.
No way.
That was me. Yeah.
We used to go out there with the girls,
Did you?
the Call Place girls. Oh my God, I didn't know it was your
I was
place.
the stressed out guy with the long ponytail and the head.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
That's so funny.
Montauk is an outdoor society, right? I mean, when you're out there in the summer, you're very rarely in your motel room. You're at the beach, or you're fishing, playing golf, whatever, right? So the restaurants really don't get busy until about 7:30, 7:45, and then there's a big rush. And we used to see people 10:45. I mean, people are still eating late at night, right? So you could have 300 reservations and nobody in your place at 7 o'clock, which was the case this day. And this couple walks in this empty restaurant and goes to the hostess, party of 2. And she goes, do you have a reservation? And he says, no. And she goes, all right, let me see what I can do. Now he's looking at a completely empty restaurant and her like she's out of her mind, right? And she's like trying to figure out, if I move this guy over here and I take them and I bring, he's doing all this. So she goes, okay, I tell you what, I can get you seated if you promise me you'll be out of here in an hour and a half. And I said, yeah, no problem. So take him to the first table. And he goes, I don't want to sit there. Now, this happens all the time. Nobody wants to sit. And I promise you it's going to taste the same at that table as it does at this table. Anyway, he doesn't want to sit there. Right? The second table, I don't want to sit there. So finally, she says, sir, where do you want to sit? So he points to a table of 4 people. And she goes, I can't let you sit there. You're 2 people. You're a table of 4. I can't give it up. He goes, well, it's ridiculous. There's nobody here. Who cares? She goes, I know what it looks like, but, like in an hour, I'm going to be fully involved here. So they go back to the hostess stand and they're arguing back and forth. And I just happened to come out to see what's going on with the reservations, right? So I said, what's the problem? He goes, well, I'm a big guy. I don't want to sit at a small table. There's nobody in the place. What's the big deal? I said, sir, what we have here is essentially a real estate transaction. This is Montauk in the summer, right? I'm selling square footage. It just happens to come with a meal.
That's true.
I said, if you want a bigger table, come back in like November. You can sit at a table of 22 and it's not going to matter, right? He looks at me. I swear to God, it's true. Right? Looks at me, points at me and goes, let me tell you something, pal. I know Tom Shortell, and when I tell him what's going on here, heads are going to roll. I'm like, you know Tom? Years I go back, but I'm telling you, he's going to fire your ass when I call him, right? Now the hostess grabs the nose and runs inside, leaves me with this maniac. So I don't know what to say. So I'm like, all right, sit wherever you want, right? So the hostess comes back out and she goes, why did you say something? I said, the guy told me he knew me, he was going to call me and have me fire me. It's a lot to process. What
a great story. And is that in the book?
Oh, yeah, that's in one of the books.
You guys got to buy these books.
So you could get these on Amazon?
You can get them on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah. Books are funny. You publish books and, I had like 5,000 printed the first time. And after all your friends and family have one, you got to get rid of the other 7,000 that are in your garage. So Amazon's helpful that way.
Yeah, yes, they are. No, we've had a couple of people come on with books, and
do you sell them at your restaurants too?
I do. I self-publish because I went to Nelson and he says, give me the manuscript, I'll give it to my agent. So, and I'm thinking, Nelson's sold gazillions of books, right? So I said, okay, I give it to the agent. He calls me back. The agent turned it down. I'm like, I don't need you to get that. I can turn it down on my own. You're supposed to be a big shot. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, it was 2009 was the first one. And I self-published them because I had to. And it turns out that you make more money if you can sell them. And I have outlets. I have the restaurants, all the wineries out east have them. I have a radio show. I can promote it on the radio show. So I was able to sell a whole bunch. I think we sold about 8,000 copies of the first
Wow.
one.
Wow,
which is
very
nice.
That's
nice.
great.
And I'm up to about 5 on the second one, something like that. So yeah,
That's great, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, we're going to sell these, people. All right. We're going to sell these. You just go on to Amazon, and this is called Second Helping. I'm going to promote the hell out of this thing. I mean,
Now-
we're going to sell another 5,000 in
Take
the
all the
next
help I can
3
get.
weeks.
when you self-publish.
yeah,
You also have control over the cover and everything.
yeah, yeah.
All good.
Yeah, you do it
Because-
all. I mean, you have help. You know, the self-publishing company obviously help you. There's a bunch of them out there.
Right.
But I enjoy the process. I enjoyed the writing process. It was harder than I thought, you know. But I enjoyed it. And somebody said to me one time, he says, "You're a pretty good writer." I'm like, "Really not a writer. I'm a reporter." I mean, my characters are formed, my plot lines are there. I just filter it through an insane sensibility and retell the stories, you know. But the process it's different for me because restaurants are high energy, you know, stuff going on all the time, banging the story. Give me that 3 of them, and the dichotomy between the dining room where you have this tinkling, you know, silverware and very nice soft music, and the back is like WW2, you know what I mean?
Oh,
in
it's
the kitchen,
insane.
you know?
Yeah.
But writing to me is just
In the
home.
weeds,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
In the weeds.
yeah. But writing was the home office, you know. I had Steve Vai on very low, you know, kind
Yeah.
of music to write by. I was teasing him about that actually. But I really enjoyed the process. It was competitive and interesting because it's something that was way out of my lane.
And you did it.
Yeah.
You did it really well. And I love the covers. You know, the covers are great.
Yeah, I asked them to see if they could shave like 10 pounds off me for that one.
Oh, yeah, I would
Wear
want an
black,
hour
wear
less
black,
figure.
you know.
Wear black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
black.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's like 10 pounds right away off
Right
the
away.
bat.
Well, let's say TV puts 5 pounds on you. I've been on TV like 30 times, so that's 150 pounds of
Yeah.
trying to lose, you know.
Now you have a radio show, and what exactly is the radio show about?
It's called Playing with Fire. That's the same as the book, and it's basically a food, wine, and lifestyle show. You know, so we cover everything. I interview chefs and growers and oyster people and winery guys and vintners and anything to do with food and restaurants. Musicians, you know, just that's the lifestyle part of it. You know, I've had Steve Vai was my first guest. You know.
Oh,
There you
great.
go.
Yeah, you
First
mentioned
guy.
him. I was
Yeah,
going to say,
he's
yeah,
perfect.
Steve Vai.
Everybody thinks Steve Vai, you know, the great guitar player. I think Steve Vai, Roger's little brother. Hey,
Yeah,
Raj.
yeah.
Right, yeah,
that's
because
what
you
I
grew-
think of him,
You
too.
grew up with Roger
Of
Vai.
course, yeah.
And I met Roger, I had told you earlier, because a friend of mine, who is more of a friend of yours and Roger's,
Joe.
owned a bar called the Post and
Oh
Rail.
God, the Post and Rail. I should write a book about that.
Great stories over there. I
Oh,
used to
yeah.
go there a lot.
Some you can't tell.
Probably a lot you can't tell.
Yeah, amen.
But yeah, we were talking about that. And I met Roger, and then the owner, Jeff, it was 2 owners, right? Jeff
Yeah.
and Tom.
Jeff and Tommy. Yeah.
And Jeff told me he would also be a bouncer for Roger's little brother, Steve.
Oh, yeah, sure. Help him out.
Help him out.
Steve didn't need any other bouncer than Roger. Roger's as good a bouncer
Oh,
as
yeah.
you could find. But, dear friend.
And
I love
Steve
him.
Vai is probably one of the greatest guitarists on Long Island, anyway.
You know, I've been
Probably in
playing
the world.
I've been playing guitar 50-something years. I watch him, and he's jaw dropping. You know, I mean, there's a lot of great guitar players out there, and it's hard to say who's the best. I mean,
Yeah.
there's millions of them. But Steven has to be in the conversation. He's
Yeah.
just so ridiculously good. And the thing about Steven, to me, that kind of sets him apart from other guitar players is that he never really loses the melody under all the gymnastics. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that can play fast, and they make you go, "What?" You know, but he never loses the song. It's always a song under there, and he makes ridiculously difficult guitar playing look easy. You know, some
Yeah.
guys look like they're working at it. Steven is just like it's easy. He makes you think you can do it. And then I run home and I go, what?
How'd he do that?
I want to throw every guitar I own in the fireplace.
Oh,
What's
my
that?
And he was your
God.
first guest.
He was my first guest on the radio show. We talked about bees. He was raising bees, so we talked about honey. So
Oh, yeah.
we do kind of relate everything back to food somehow.
What a great show.
Sometimes it's like this way, but we do eventually.
Yeah.
get back there.
So you come back to it.
And it's a lot of fun. We're actually, if I can boast a bit, we're the #1 rated show on Sundays on Long Island. So
In that time slot at that station.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
period. Yeah, period. I was like shocked. I'm thinking it's really a show about nothing. It's like Seinfeld on radio.
And it's on WH.
HLI.
WHLI.
AM. Yeah, Sunday mornings from 9 to 10.
Sunday mornings, 9 to 10. We got to remember
Well,
that.
I'll remember it, of course, now.
Yeah.
WHLI.
I'll be promoting that and marketing it.
So you're on every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, again, that's a fun exercise. Restaurants I can do in my sleep. I've built, probably been involved in 25 or 26 of them, something like that. But that was hard. That was kind of, I had to really think about it and kind of practice a little bit and get with it, So it was fun. It's part of the bucket list thing, for sure. But and a bit of a vanity project.
Yeah.
But,
Why not?
yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
But that's great. See, you're a restaurateur, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've owned many 5-star restaurants.
And help
on Long
people
Island.
start restaurants too,
Yeah,
right?
I've done some consulting,
Yeah.
which is kind of a funny business. I mean, the consulting part, I've kind of backed down a little bit on it. 2 reasons. One is not that much work out there, but I don't want to chase it. And 2, people don't listen to you. And then they blame you when it all goes sideways.
I
You know
get
what
point.
Yeah.
They basically want you to tell them how smart they are, and what a great idea it is. I had a guy, I was doing he hired me to do a consulting thing. And before we got to that point, I said, what do you want to do? He says, well, I got this idea. I'm going to open up this restaurant. It's going to be on the water. Monday night's going to be ladies' night. Tuesday night is reggae. Wednesday night is open mic. Thursday night is comedy night. I'm like, whoa, And he goes, and then, we're going to be cheap lunches, but at dinner, we're going to lower the lights. We're going to dress up all the waiters and waitresses in like famous actor outfits. I'm like, he must have
So is it Studio 54 or is he going to have a restaurant?
Exactly, right? So I said to him, I said, well, it seems to me that you know what you want to do, so you don't really need me, really, He says, no, what I need you to do is when we build it, I want you to save me some money in the building. I said, okay, tell you what, I'm going to fire myself and tell you not to do this. And you can't imagine how much money I'm about to save you. He goes, yeah, that's pretty funny, but no, but I'm not kidding. This isn't a comedy routine. I'm advising you. You hired me to advise you. I'm advising you not to do this. P.S. He goes forward. I back out. He goes forward and he put $750,000 into somebody else's building and never opened.
Yeah.
Never
Oh, wow.
See, I was a bartender.
That's
and I
horrible.
worked for some restaurants, some successful restaurants and
Right.
some not so successful. And the one guy, Mario's High Hook in Babylon,
Yeah, sure.
Mario used to say, these people that spend all the money in renovating the place before they even open, that's money that you need for your business.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
I don't know
be
why
careful.
some people take a building that was never a restaurant and now they're going to make it so they have to put a kitchen in, they have to put in all the equipment, and then they're in the hole already. They're already in the red.
It's a dollar in a dream. I mean, the restaurant business from the outside is sexy, Hey, I'm going to stand in the front and hand out menus. I'll dress up. I'll have a drink. My friends will come down and say hello the whole day. It's not what it is.
Yeah,
It's
right.
way harder than that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's why you have a failure rate of 90%. It's everybody, people who know nothing about the restaurant business are the people who can afford to go in it. People who know about it don't make enough money to go in it. Every once in a while, 2 of them become a partner and, they don't kill each other and it's fine, But for the most part, I've never known anybody who doesn't know how to run a restaurant. I've been told by everybody who comes in, you know what you should do here? Yeah, I should listen to you. Because that's smart, But I mean, lawyers do it, doctors do it,
Right.
finance guys, all that. I would never open up an electrical supply outfit. I don't care how much money I had and how much I needed lighting. Why would you do that? Why would I become a plumber? I mean, I don't know anything about it. But restaurants, everybody knows how to do it. So.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, our son was a server in a lot of restaurants.
Was he? Yeah.
Well, when he was going to college,
Uh-huh.
he was doing that, and he worked for the Bolsons.
The Bolsons.
Oh yeah, good guys.
Yeah. He worked for them, and they lost that one place that's down the block from Tellers. Well, that was all because of
The H2O, that was during the pandemic.
COVID,
That was
pandemic.
Yeah, it hurt a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
It took Kingfish out from under me. I wound up selling it back to the owners, but we were like, we just opened and it was getting busier and busier and busier, and then boom, nothing.
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, the ones out east, we survived it, but it wasn't easy. It was hard.
But like you said too, that people then when they fail, they blame you, because I was managing a bar on top of a restaurant in Ocean Bay Park, Fire Island for 8 years.
That's when we met.
Oh, really?
These two, yeah, so these 2 guys who used to drink and hang out in the place decide they're going to go partners and
Yeah.
take over. So I was going in there. For one thing, I was on the beach handing out flyers all afternoon. If it rained, if it was a rainy Saturday, I was in there. Even though I went to bed at 6,
Yeah,
I was there by 11. And because I knew it's raining, people are going to come in.
sure, yeah.
These guys, they have better ideas than I did. They're going to open up the bar at 8 o'clock at night. They don't have a chef. They spent more money on remodeling and everything.
Yeah.
And then when they were failing, the one guy that told me we're going to open at 8 o'clock because nobody goes there. And by 8 o'clock, I already had $60 in tips. So if I had $60 in tips in 4 hours, how much did the register,
Yeah, of course.
So they wound up telling me that I was lying to them, that I didn't make that kind of money, that you opened the place at 8 o'clock at night and you changed everything around.
Yeah.
You put a jukebox in.
Took away happy hour.
They took away they ruined it, and then it was my fault. Like I said, so
Well, it's,
I related
And
to that.
they didn't make it.
most people
No.
don't. It's a lot harder. The business is
It sounds
is-
easy.
Yeah, there's a million moving parts, and if you're not really experienced, you're gonna miss them. You're gonna, man. Even in my stage, I mean, I've done this for a long time. You make mistakes. I mean, you hopefully learn from them. And the ones I make now are smaller ones. In the beginning, I made big ones.
Yeah, right.
But now, they're smaller, and you can't replace 55 years, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. With I got a lot of money. Watch me.
That's another thing. People think that I'll open up a restaurant and I don't even have to be there. Right?
That's a good idea.
Right? I'll just
Because
hire
nobody
somebody.
likes
It
liquor and
absorbs your
cash.
life.
You know?
It absorbs
Nobody
your
like
life.
what were you saying?
Liquor and cash. Nobody
Yeah.
likes liquor.
Yeah. So, and I was amazed, and I'm nowhere in the level that you are, but I was amazed when people tell me, I'll just hire somebody to run the place and I could go off and do something. And I'm like, no, you have to watch these people.
Yeah.
Especially a restaurant with alcohol. You're going to let these people alone? They're all going to be drunk,
Oh,
right?
yeah. One of my partners, great guy, dentist, and dear friend, sweet guy. And we decided we'd open a bunch of restaurants together. I had a crash and burn thing in '87. I opened a place in East Hampton, and it was the year the market crashed, and I got wiped out. So I was kind of like half homeless, broke, the whole thing. And this guy said, "Why don't you come out to Montauk and open up this restaurant with me?" And I'm like, "I just got my ass kicked in East Hampton. Last thing I need to go is 15 minutes east." So it turned out it was the best idea I ever had, because we became partners, and then we opened up 5, 6, 7 restaurants later. So the third one, he decided that he was going to do this one himself, because now he knows all about the restaurant business. He's a dentist. So I'm fighting with him, and I'm telling him, "Keep your nose out of this, please. Let me do this." He goes, "You don't know how much I know about restaurants." I said, "Really? Why don't you educate me? Tell me what you know." I've eaten in every important restaurant in the United States twice, and he had,
Right.
yeah, Charlie Trotter's, Spago, all these places, right? I said, "Okay, Mike, I'm going to give you some perspective. I've flown to Los Angeles probably 10 times. I never landed the plane. There's a big difference between flying there and flying there. And it's a
Yeah.
big difference between eating in a restaurant and running one and setting one up,
Right.
Why don't you just get out of it?" Anyway, so he said, "I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going back to Montauk." And I'm like this, my fingers in my eyes. He was open for about 4 months, and then he sold it. It was a mess. It was a complete mess.
Because
That's a
that's
shame.
you said it looks glamorous.
Yeah,
It's not. They don't realize the amount of work that,
no idea.
and that's why our son doesn't want anything to do with the restaurant business.
Well,
you
so-
know?
because
smarter
he
people
knows.
don't. I mean, it's idiots like me that just stay in it.
Well, our son is a filmmaker, and he went to school for film and television,
yeah.
and that's what he's doing now. But he's doing it practical. He's actually working for like construction companies
Uh-huh.
that do roofing and stuff. He films it. He puts the video together.
Nice.
And it's what he loves to do.
Yeah.
But he was a great server, but he doesn't want anything to do
He
with
used
the
to come
restaurant.
home with stories that I would be like,
Uh.
and I know.
People are crazy. I mean, I go from the benign, like I had a small incident with a guy about 3 weeks ago out at one of the restaurants out east, and we serve olive oil with the bread.
The bread.
Yeah.
So she takes the bread, the olive oil to the table. She comes back in the kitchen. The guy says the olive oil's rancid. So I'm like, so I smell it's fine, taste it's okay. What do you want me to do? I said, put that one on the table over there. Wait 4 minutes and then take it back out. And she goes, he's going to know. I said, I promise you, he's not going to know.
No.
Takes it back at that's better. Thank you very much. Same bottle of olive oil.
That's great. Yeah, no, but you.
But that's
55 years in the business.
Yeah, that's one of the easy ones. And then you get people who are crazy. We had a woman come in to Jewel one time, and she announces to the wait staff, I guess it was 2 people, the runner was over there and the waiter was over there. And she says, I'm lactose intolerant. I'm a keto practice. I got to get this straight because it's complicated. I'm a keto practicing vegan with a dairy intolerance. What can I eat?
Nothing.
So anyway, she says, all right, I'm going to have the lobster roll. And I'm thinking, well, what could possibly go wrong? Are you kidding me? So the waitress comes back to me and she says, I got this woman out there. She says she's a keto practicing something that's a vegan and she has intolerance to dairy and she ordered a lobster roll. I said, she's also insane. I mean,
yeah, she's a vegan and she's going to have a lobster roll. Huh?
I tell her, go back and tell her that, she's going to have a problem with the lobster roll. I know what I can eat. So we give it a lobster roll, right? And I know it's coming back. So I hear this commotion out at the table, right? I can't believe she's screaming now. I can't believe you people serve me this. I told you I had a dairy allergy and there's mayonnaise in there, right? So I go to the table. What's the problem? I told you there was a dairy allergy and there's mayonnaise in there. I said, it's mayonnaise. It's aioli, It's there's no dairy. There's eggs in there. I said, yeah, but they're not cow eggs. They're chicken eggs. It's sold in the dairy section, but it's not dairy. You know what I mean? They look at me like I'm nuts. What do you mean? It's not cow eggs. They'd be this big. They throw the recipe all over.
So you're dealing with customers like this, but you stay in the restaurant business.
Well, I used to when I was younger. I used to get mad at them. Right, angry. I'm this artist. I'm going to do this and change everything. After a while, as I got older, I mellowed. It's just funny to me after a while because it's the human condition.
And you wrote these stories.
And I was able to turn it into something.
I can't wait. I really can't wait to read. I want to get Playing with Fire.
Oh, you can't believe. And
These are ours.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I just have to learn how to read. And
then start with the big letters and then shrink them down.
Okay.
Run, spot, run.
You'll get it. Believe me.
But the phone calls that come in, you wonder what people are thinking. I had a guy call me up, and I never answer the phone ever because it's God's way of telling me I should have been doing something productive, And I leave it to the hostesses; they're better at it than me. And in my defense, I have a lot of things going on with the restaurant, so I don't really know exactly what's going on at the time. Hostesses are better at it than I am. So I pick up the phone, and I get this guy. He says to me, can I speak to a manager? I said, well, the manager's not here. I'm the owner. How can I help you? He said, what's your policy on gift certificates? I don't understand the question. He said, policy. You have a policy on gift certificates? I said, my policy is I sell you the gift certificate and I pray that you lose it. So he goes, no, really? I'm like, no, really. So he goes, I said, what's the problem? He says, well, is there an expiration date on them? I said, well, when did you get it? He says, about 2 years ago, my son bought it for me for Christmas. I said, no, just bring it down. It's fine. We'll honor it. He goes, well, I can't really bring it down. I said, why not? He said, we had a small house fire, and I think we lost it in a house fire. But I'm glad that you're going to honor the gift certificate. I'm like, what gift certificate? No, the one that my son bought me for Christmas. I said, all right, bring it down. I'll honor it. Now, didn't you hear me? I can't bring it down. We lost it in a fire. I said, well, I can't honor something you can't bring here. He says, what are you, some kind of moron? I said, sir, if you're trolling for free food, calling me names is a really good idea. So,
what a great story.
He said to him, I said, listen, I think they have a CSI unit in Mineola. Bring it down and maybe you can piece it together. You come down and see if I can see the number, I'll honor it. He says to me, you're an asshole. I'm an asshole. Hangs up the phone.
Oh,
that's
this
great.
Has got to be hysterical.
Is that in the book?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
right.
God,
There's
that's
really-
going to be
there's
so
like
funny.
100
There are great, yeah. Like restaurant and bartending is different, but I found our friend Jeff, who owned the Post and Rail. When I first started bartending, I called him up and I said, Jeff, I have a problem. People come in, they're real nice, and then they get drunk, and they're morons and they're terrible, they're horrible. He said, Benny, you're right. He said, sometimes I'm going to my bar sober, and they're all assholes, and then I'm like, I have to get drunk and be an asshole like them, or I have to go home.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And that was the advice, Jeff. Jeff really was the one that mentored me on becoming a bartender.
It's hard to be the only sober guy in the room.
Yeah. And in restaurant, I would see, like I said, my friend Mario owned it, and I would see how they would deal with customers the way you did, because you get some weird people.
And circumstances sometimes they're so out of your control. It's like this conspiracy of events that happens. I'll tell you a quick one. She was actually, patient zero. She was the first person that I ever wrote about. And it was an elderly woman. She was probably in her maybe middle 80s. And the backstory is the bathroom at Cool Fish. You can't imagine what ladies' rooms look like 10 minutes after you open the place. I mean, women, I think it's kind of a, they're always so good in their house, keeping the house thing, that they get mad and they destroy somebody else's.
Throw it there.
Really?
Let somebody else clean this stuff up. So
I'm not flushing.
What I did, I'm going to outthink the women, right? So I decided to put a floor drain in the middle of the bathroom in Cool Fish.
Okay.
So when it was over, you could hose it. You take a fire hose and get it all, down.
And everything
So
goes
the thing
down.
was backing up, and there was a little water coming up, right? So I called the plumber. So about half an hour later, this guy shows up in a Ferrari with a 3-piece suit and pointy shoes, and he comes in. I said, "Can I help you?" He says, "I'm the plumber." I'm like, "Kidding?" So you're dressed awfully nice for a plumber, So he says, "Yeah, all my guys are busy, and I was told it was an emergency. I'm the owner, so I figured I'd run down. I was doing something else. I wanted to run down and help you." I said, "All right, well, could you pull your pants down in the back a little bit so I know what you're doing?" Because plumbers always have that low thing in
The
the back.
plumber's crack.
Yeah, when they're bent over your toilet.
Yeah.
So he goes in there and he brings some snake in or whatever. He pronounces the thing clean. I pay him. He goes. About an hour later, we open for lunch, and I see these 3 elderly women come in for lunch, right? And they sit down. I don't think about it. And about 10 minutes later, I go out to the bar, and I'm standing by the bar talking to the bartender about something. I hear these muffled cries for help, like "Help! Help! Help!" Right, coming from the ladies' room. I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I said, "Diane, my manager," I said, "I think there's something going on in the ladies' room. Go see what's going on." She opens the door. It's like a geyser. There's stuff coming up this high off the floor, plumbing stuff coming up. And this woman is sitting on the bowl with her feet straight out in the air, yelling, "Help! Help! I have open-toe shoes! Help!" And she's screaming, right? I put my head down. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
So I said, "Listen, you got to come out of there." "I'm not coming out. I have open-toe shoes, and I want a free lunch." Here we go, right? So I said, "Ma'am, in all honesty, I mean, you're in the worst negotiating position I've ever seen in my life. You're sitting on a bowl with your feet up in the air, you got a half an acre of bloomers hanging around your ankles, and you're screaming for free food. You got to come out of it." She won't come out, right? I said, "All right." So we finally, the thing subsides. She's still in there, right? It's like 20 minutes later, right? So I get this little Spanish kid in the back, like one of my porters. So I said, "Jose, you ever seen a naked woman?" He said, "Yeah." "You ever seen one over 80? No, it's different. It's just different. You got to go in there, close your eyes, mop as fast as you can, and get out of there." So we finally get the woman out, right? So she has lunch or whatever. And about 20 minutes later, half an hour later, the waitress comes in and she says, "That woman who's in the bathroom wants to see you." I'm like, "She's dressed?" Because I'm not going to stop being an ass and get out there, right? So I go out there and I said, "What's up?" So she goes, "Well, do I get my free lunch?" I said, "Ma'am, for this kind of material, I'd have given you a free wedding." "Well, I'm not planning on getting married." So I bought her lunch.
Oh, my God.
And then what happened with the drain?
Eventually, it all went back down.
Did the plumber come in?
Yeah, he had to come back and correct whatever happened.
Oh, my
But
God.
this
That's
kid- yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And you think that's like women just shoving crap in there? Or?
You can't imagine what I pulled out of toilet bowls in the women's room. It was,
I'm telling
it's
you,
like
they're
makeup compacts, lipstick things,
Yeah.
telephones.
Yeah.
And then I went out and I bought one of these things. They had this kind of super toilet bowl thing it had a canister on the top, and it lined it with plastic. And then when you push the button, it would a new one would come out. So it was like, because what women do is they I'm going to get in trouble for this now.
No. We take toilet paper and we wrap it around and wrap it around and wrap
it's
it
about
around.
an inch thick.
Exactly.
But then you don't sit on it, you hover over it
Right.
like a UFO.
Right.
You know what I
You
mean?
never
And then
touch
hope
it.
for the best. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wanted to put like targets in there. And prizes, if you hit the bullseye, you get a free lunch. Kind of thing. But anyway, so I bought this thing. It was, and I figured, oh, it solved my problem. The problem was the women didn't trust it, so they'd hit it like 7 times. Right?
Yeah.
The thing would go around and around. I was running out of plastic or whatever it was every half an hour. So it was a mess.
Or if a young kid goes in there, they just keep hitting it and hitting it, and it just
yeah.
keeps going around. They have them everywhere now.
Do they?
Oh, everywhere. It's like every place in every casino that you could be in Las Vegas, they have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, they've got beautiful.
See, I always
bathrooms
thought women were cleaner
no,
in a bathroom.
you go into a men's bathroom, it's spotless all the time.
No,
Well,
no.
I'm
Right? Tell
a lot better.
It's not.
Tell her.
No, it's not spotless. But
It used to
it's
be.
way better than the ladies' room.
Really?
You
Ladies'
can't
rooms
even
are really.
imagine what goes
That's
on.
why they have women in there now that clean up after the women.
Yeah. attendant.
There's always
it's-
attendants
But in a big
everywhere.
place.
I think it's latent anger from cleaning the bathrooms at home or something. It comes out.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, absolutely. I live with 2 men. I'm telling you, that's it. That's definitely.
We're clean.
Yeah, right.
I don't- I'm sorry I started this.
No, don't be.
Yeah, no. That's not true. That's not true.
Like if I go to a baseball game or something, it seems like all the men's rooms they're filthy.
Well,
Okay.
that's different. We're
Yeah,
talking
but
about restaurants, hotels,
Yeah, you got
versus
50,000 people there. Half
Yeah.
of them are men. That's 25,000 guys peeing at the same time. They're
Yeah.
all drinking beer. One hot dog
that's
or whatever.
totally different.
Yeah.
Totally
But-
different.
When the floor's wet, you're like, it's not water. You
So,
know?
how long is Allure going to be open for the season? When does it close?
We close the end of October, and we open up around Patty's Day.
Okay.
And then Amano's open all year. We used to be open 7 days a week. We're open 6 now. 7 now, but we'll go 6 in the winter. And we were open 7 days a week for probably about 10 years. And I remember saying to my partner, why are we doing this? Because it's really kind of quiet on the weekdays. He says, well, the locals really appreciate us being open. I said, well, thank the 4 of them the next time you see them. Because it's like there's nobody here.
Is that in Syosset?
No, Amano's in Matatuck.
Oh, it's in Manitouk.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm like, I know I saw the restaurant. I'm just trying to figure out where I saw it.
I'm in wine country out there. So
Okay.
yeah.
But you're open all year round there.
There I'm open all year round. Yeah.
It's in Manitouk.
But you're not open 7 days a week.
It's in the town.
I am right now. We'll probably go down to 6 days sometime around the end of November, I would think. Because there's a real good shoulder season in the North Fork. I had restaurants on the south side for a while, East Hampton and Montauk. And they're busier in the spring and the summer. But North Fork in the fall, they get a lot of pumpkin pickers out there. And
Yeah, it gets really busy out
the
there.
Christmas tree people go out there.
Yep.
So it's really, all the farm stands are beautiful this time of year.
Yeah, my girlfriend has a house out there, and that she had a big house out there. And so I've been going out there for like the last several years, and
It's great.
I know all the restaurants and everything, and I keep passing.
Like you
that
said, the
restaurant.
wineries, I guess, have a lot to do with.
Oh yeah,
They bring millions of people out there every
Yeah.
year, and the wineries are really making world-class stuff now. And, in the 80s, it was a little rough. I've been a big supporter of them for a long time, but you have A, B, and C level wineries all over the world. I mean, I've had lousy wines in France. I've had great wines in France. Same with Italy, and same here. You have 4 or 5 A level wineries out there, and I'm not going to name them because it's just politically problems with that.
I like Pindar. I like to go to Pindar because they have the outside. You can go see the concerts and everything.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to name them though.
Well, I'm
No, they
naming
all
them.
have their strengths and weaknesses, and like any other wine producing region, you have good and you have better. And I think that technology's caught up with the grape. It's almost hard to make bad wine. I've been tasting. I go to trade tastings in the restaurant business, right? So distributors will open up their entire portfolio for you. So I probably taste 600-700 wines a year. I've been doing that for 40 years, so I know what's out there. And there's no bad wine anymore. My mom was a box wine chick. Even that was like okay. It's not great, obviously, but it's certainly drinkable. Where 20 years ago you get a wine, you go, oh my God,
Yeah.
don't give up the day job, dude.
Yeah.
But now it's almost hard to make bad wine now.
And Long Island wine has become more sophisticated,
Way more
more.
sophisticated. The place I make my own. I have my own line of wines, right? I make my own wines at Pominock Vineyards. They have 26, 27 wines rated over 90. So a 90 rate, and they're not the only ones out there. But 90 rating's a 90 rating, whether it's here or California. It doesn't become a 70 because it's Long Island. It's just 90's a 90. And that's the score everybody's looking for. So Yeah, there's world-class wines being made out there.
I'm glad
Which
to
is
hear
nice.
that
Yeah.
the Long Island wines are now up there with.
There's some fabulous ones. I've seen
California.
them in blind tastings knock out big California cabs.
Wow.
Yeah, which is kind of cool to see.
Well, like you said, it took a while. It took some years.
Well, yeah, I mean, France had a 2,000-year head start.
Yeah, right.
So
They did.
Yeah, accumulated a lot of knowledge in 2,000 years.
We used to get this one wine called Corvo,
The Sicilian wine, yeah, Corvo.
Yeah.
and it was, what was it, like $5.99 a bottle?
No, it was like $8 a
Yeah,
bottle,
yeah,
but it was a good wine.
Yeah. I remember Corvo.
And
Yeah, because
now it's like 32.
I have uncles who make my uncles make their
I
own
still buy
wine.
it.
Oh, yeah.
My uncles make their own wine
Yeah.
because they don't like wine in the that you could buy in the store because of the sugar and water and everything.
Yeah.
And Corvo they liked.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make your own wine. You need a good supply of aspirins.
They used to do it in Brooklyn with the barrels.
I helped my uncle a couple of years with the old fashioned with the barrel and then
Yeah.
Air it out
You
and
remember,
put more in.
you remember Louis Ragney?
Yes.
Yeah, Louis. He was a classmate. Well, he was a couple years older than us, but yeah, his dad used to make wine. His dad used to
Oh,
make
really?
wine in the backyard. Yeah. And, yeah, I remember Louis and I used to nip at it occasionally when Dad wasn't around.
Because that stuff is strong.
Oh my God.
The good
Oh,
stuff,
my
yeah.
God. I mean,
I
it's
grew
not
up
like,
with that.
Whoa, it's like, it's the first time I ever tasted it. It was like, whoa, is this a shot of what? What is this, Jägermeister? Or is it
It
wine?
doubles as paint remover.
Yeah. And we have a jug in the refrigerator, in the back of the refrigerator.
That's my friend George made moonshine.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, George
Never
made his own
touched it.
moonshine.
It's still back there in the refrigerator.
You're
with
better
the
off leaving it there.
Homemade moonshine.
decoration in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all it is.
That's funny.
Because Ryan was asking what it was. I'm like, ask your father.
Yeah, no, it's George gave me a bunch of them. There's some in the other refrigerator too, the second fridge.
So here's the story. You know the term corked with wines? If a
Mhm.
wine goes bad, they call it corked. And the reason that is that the corks fail and air gets in there and it spoils the wine, right? So I had a woman come in and we gave her, I don't remember what wine it was. But anyway, she says, tells the waiter that the wine is corked. It's bad, right? Now, it's a screw cap. So I go over and I said, what's the problem? She says, this wine is corked. I said, ma'am, that's a screw cap on that. She says, what? I said, your wine may be screwed. It's certainly not corked. She looks at me. She's trying, I don't know, she didn't want to pay for it or whatever.
Oh my
I said,
God.
I'll take it back if you don't like it, but it's not corked. It's hilarious.
Oh, they're unbelievable what they
Oh
do.
my God, you can't even imagine.
That's why I bow to you as being in the business for so many years and having many 5-star restaurants.
That
That
it is. I think it's either in your DNA or it's not, right? And if it, like for me, I couldn't do anything else. It's just it's in my DNA. And if it's not, you can't fake it.
Right.
You have a lot of kids now. I see them coming into the business because they were watching Food Network or whatever. They see Bobby Flay, whoever on TV, and they think they're going to go to culinary school and step out of there onto a TV stage and become famous or whatever.
No.
And then they wind up peeling beets at $14 an hour for 2 years, and all of a sudden the sparkles off it, and they go get a job at the county. So we're seeing a lot of people that come into the business that shouldn't be there. I had a kid who came to me at one of the restaurants out east, and he goes, I need to go to the HR department. I said, you're looking at the HR department. So I said, what's the problem? He goes, well, the chef yelled at me in front of, a couple of people, and I was embarrassed, and I don't think you should behave like that. I said, okay, I'm just going to give you some perspective. The first chef I worked for broke 2 of my ribs. All right. So that's he yelled at me thing.
Yeah, right.
You're going to have to grow a little skin here, or you're going to have to find something else to do, because we're not working in a monastery. This is a
He's
kitchen.
never watched Hell's Kitchen, evidently.
Yeah, and they
Anyway,
become better.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Oh,
we had
shit.
some, and we didn't even show the video because we'll show it next time.
We'll show the video
So,
next
listen,
time.
Thomas,
Thank you.
So much fun.
Chardell.
So much fun. Great to see you.
Oh,
Really, it's
Tom
it's
Chardell,
wonderful.
was. Thank you
50
so
years, I
much.
haven't seen him
My
in
pleasure.
50 years.
My pleasure.
All right. So next time you see us, Chris Roach is going to be a comedian.
In the next show.
It's going to
Okay.
be on October 8th. Okay.
Bobby always says we never say goodbye.
We never
take
say
forever.
goodbye.
We take forever to
It's
say
like
goodbye.
the Italians saying goodbye to
Tom and
everybody. 10
Chardell,
times.
thank you so much for
Thank
being a
you,
guest.
Tom.
Nancy. And remember, it's my birthday. I'll take any kind of gift you want to send me.
And the book. I'm going to be promoting these books like crazy. So go on any of my pages. I have 100,000 followers. So you better freaking buy this book. Or I'm going to take you off.
And I'm taking gift certificates from many of Tom's restaurants. They can be burnt.
There you go.
Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone.
October 8th, Chris Roach.